Sergeant. Tonight, 20 minutes of non-stop news. We start with CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini with a bombshell report on Sterigenics and what the public doesn't know.
To say Matt Haller is a fighter is an understatement.
So you were 195.
I was 195.
Now
I'm 120.
120 pounds.
Yeah.
The 45-year-old has been battling stage 4 stomach cancer for the last year and a half.
It used to be a nice bicep there. Now it's just a scrawny mass.
He was healthy, played hockey, and skied mountains, and loved his career at ESPN in sales.
I had a future that, had success written on it, and now I have no future.
Now he's fighting to stay alive long enough to make a few more memories with his greatest loves, his wife Colleen and his son Cullen, who just turned 4. But there's another fight going on over this medical supply sterilization company, Sterigenics.
You shut them down immediately and get them out of our town. We don't want you here anymore.
They fear a dangerous gas used in the sterilization process and spewed into the air, called ethylene oxide, is what led to cancers in their neighborhoods.
To just think that, wake up one day and that this company could have been literally behind my death is, it's shocking. It's utterly shocking.
It's hard because I work there. It's hard to sleep at night.
Tonight, former Sterigenics employees break their silence to CBS 2, alleging the company ordered workers to dump toxic chemicals directly into the public sewer system, covered up just how much they emitted into the air. So you believe that company knowingly sent that chemical out into the atmosphere, knowingly endangering the lives of people?
Yeah, I firmly believe that.
Year after year?
Yes.
According to the EPA, the chemical is linked to several cancers. The CBS 2 investigators obtained documents showing the company was even warned about the risk by the Illinois EPA 35 years ago. One of those cancers is stomach cancer.
God forbid they're doing what they say that what we understand they're doing, and they're poisoning this community, then they need to pay for what they've done. And I don't mean monetarily. People should be going to jail.
It would wash right into the drain pit, which went out to the sewer system.
Former workers who don't want to be identified and past employees who gave these sworn declarations now are revealing inside secrets. They accuse the company of taking excess ethylene oxide and improperly dumping it.
They would have us hose it down, scrub it out, and squeegee it right into the drainage pits.
That was just washed also into the public sewer system.
Yes.
And they say plant supervisors would take ethylene oxide's byproduct, ethylene glycol, what's found in antifreeze, and dump that too into public sewers. And in doing so, they did it for profit?
Great.
Former workers say another way to avoid shutdowns, they manipulated alarm systems meant to warn workers when they were overexposed. So in essence, they kind of rigged the system.
Absolutely.
So you worked with people who died of cancer.
Yeah.
And even when the warning monitors did go off, they say work still didn't stop. In this statement, a forklift operator said there were frequent warnings, but he was repeatedly told to ignore it, not talk about it, just deal with it, or don't work there. It says he was told to just open the doors and let the gas out.
Those who weren't using the mask would have to evacuate the area. However, it happens so many times, it would just blow it off. Be like, just leave the doors open and it'll clear out.
You believe they were sending more of this stuff out their stacks, out their side vents, out their doors than they ever reported to the EPA.
Definitely.
And they say dangerous vapors continue to pour out after products were sterilized while they sat in ventilation rooms called aeration rooms. The process is called off-gassing. Workers said doors to those rooms were often left open, and when their exposure got high, workers were told to open outside doors to get rid of it. They put not only workers at jeopardy, but the public at jeopardy.
Absolutely.
There's not a day that goes by that I'm not in pain.
Catherine Howard has lived 7 blocks from Sterigenics since 2002. She, like Haller, who lived about a mile away, have stomach cancer.
My fear is that it is inside of each of my children, just waiting.
She blames the company for her cancer and the EPA too.
They're the ones that are regulating. They're the ones that are giving them the operating permits.
The EPA has known the dangers for decades and even warned the company back in 1984 about the cancer risks. Then, operating as Griffith Laboratories, the company wanted to add more sterilization chambers. The EPA said the company's 40 tons of ethylene oxide already being released was several magnitudes higher than desirable, and warned they were releasing it at levels 14 times to 445 times the acceptable levels in a 1-mile radius around the plant.
They knew. They had to have known.
What did the EPA do? They let them expand anyway.
They're the ones who are, responsible for protecting the residents.
The company, also in 1984, was ordered by the Illinois EPA to do ambient air testing for ethylene oxide and provide a report a year later. The CBS 2 investigators requested those records. The EPA said they don't have them.
Do you feel like the government failed you and everyone else?
Whether they did it intentionally or unintentionally, they failed us.
Was there any agency that they feared?
No.
Former workers say state and federal EPA oversight was a joke.
I don't think they really cared. They had a lot of fronts.
The EPA even allowed the company to do its own emission testing and reporting, even though in 2002, the company was accused by the US EPA of failing to install monitoring systems and failing to keep emission records.
The lady that runs that place now came from the EPA.
He's talking about Sterigenics CEO Kathleen Hoffman.
We, too, were surprised with the results and are trying to work with the agencies to address these issues.
She declined to be interviewed about the new allegations, but there's even more. These workers say before Sterigenics added a second warehouse across the street, there were 3 more places used for off-gassing. This yellow warehouse a few blocks away and 2 others in Burr Ridge. All 3 places are near homes. We could find no record those places were ever inspected by the EPA.
If that's what went on, then hell isn't hot enough for them.
Sean Collins, one of 30 attorneys working together to sue Sterigenics on behalf of people with illnesses tied to ethylene oxide exposure, says the cancer risk is 64 times higher around the plant.
If a company is falsifying reports, disregarding reports, operating in a way that is not allowed by law, it's breaking the law.
What happened to workers who complained about safety?
They got canned.
Was it your birthday? Did you just have a birthday?
I want to know the truth. I want to make sure that my son is going to be okay.
My son's 4 years old, and you really wonder, is he going to remember me? I'm not going to be able to teach him how to play hockey, and, so much loss. When you look forward, you just see loss.
There are 20,000 people in several schools in that 1-mile radius. Sterigenics says it followed regulations and denies it dumped or emitted illegally and has no evidence to support any rigging of monitors to protect worker safety. They say they never off-gassed at any other warehouse and will defend itself in court. The Illinois EPA takes the allegations we uncovered seriously and will fully investigate. The governor's office is also watching, and they say they have new leadership there now at the EPA.
Excellent report.